Morning, Pearcey.
Morning, gentlemen. Al, you're cutting a very lonely figure back there. If Gareth can get this team to the final, I'm personally coming over to get you and bring you back out here. You've got to witness it. It's a moment in history.
I wouldn't worry
Well,
about it.
doesn't
I've
realise
just cancelled
I'm
my
going the
visa,
other
don't
way.
worry. Yeah, I think there's much chance of me putting a Christmas tree up later on this afternoon.
Listen to humbug there.
I tell you what, though, Al, I mean, I'm sitting here amongst them all. They did look impressive that first game, Al. Do you not think so?
Oh, no, absolutely. But, you know, listen, it's the first game, for God's sake. There's a long way to go. But you know, we want a big tournament. We want the final, don't we? We want England to get to the final, Alistair.
The line went a bit funny then.
I said we want to get the final. I didn't say win it. You know, I thought Brazil-England final might be nice. Stuart, we just heard Raheem there waxing lyrical about Bellingham. Rice and Bellingham in that centre are just fantastic. But this 19-year-old, I remember when he was going to leave Birmingham, I thought, this is crazy for a kid. The money they're talking about, I see why now. God, he is fantastic.
Well, you've got to look at the scouting network for Dortmund to actually know, you know, to pull a kid like him out that's ended up in such a short space of time, you know what I mean, develop into one of England's must-starters as we stand at the moment. You know, a must-starter for his club. And I think it's quite refreshing. Some people don't like seeing our players going abroad and whatever, but the French, the Spanish have done it. You know, all nations have done it. I find it quite refreshing that a young man wants to go abroad. It broadens their horizons, and I think it's good for their development as people as well as players.
Here's a question for you, Pearce. An interesting one. We were talking about him last night, Al. And everybody automatically thinks, right, well, that's him ready to come back to the top flight in England. That's where he's going to go, and he's off and running. But it was Nigel de Jong reckons his next move should be to Bayern Munich, because that would make sense as the next stage in his development. Would that be a possibility?
Or Real Madrid even.
Yeah, I mean, possibility-wise, he seems to be enjoying his work in Germany.
Yeah.
You know, Bayern are obviously the dominant force there. I can see that as part of it. Why should there be a big clamour to get to the Premier League? You know, I think we sit on our island and think that the world revolves around us at times. And I think for development for him, why not? He could go and have 3 or 4 years at Bayern if he wanted to.
Yeah.
I think he probably after this World Cup, if he keeps doing what he's doing, he'd probably get the opportunity to go wherever he wants. For me, it makes sense. He's enjoying his football there. He knows the league there. He's got good exposure, Champions League football, and Bayern will probably be one of the favourites to win the Champions League this year.
PSG maybe
Not
another one, you know, in terms of contracts. And look, wherever he goes, I just hope he keeps his form and, you know, money doesn't come into it, because he's going to be a very, very wealthy young man. But, you know, you look at City have got to go for someone like him, surely.
Or Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool, I think, are probably a team that are crying out for somebody like him. Absolutely. I think he's walking into any team. But, I mean, you look at Liverpool's midfield at this moment in time.
Yeah.
But it's a funny one. I don't know whether you agree. The English lads, Bellingham, Rice and Saka and boys like Mount, I was just saying to Pearcey, he's created some squad and some atmosphere, Gareth, within that squad, because they really are a likeable, intelligent group of young men to listen to as well. You know, you're listening and watch their interviews after the game. Brilliant. They handle it. There's a lot of humility is what I would use.
Sure, what about, so looking ahead, because time just flies, you know, this USA game won't be easy. They're fit, they're strong, they're quick. And also Harry, what about Harry? You know, if he's going for a precautionary x-ray, is Gareth thinking I might have to leave him out of this one?
Knowing Harry Kane, or not knowing him, but perceiving what he's like, he'll want to play all the games. There's no doubt about that. But I think Gareth will just take medical advice, and from that he'll have a conversation with his captain, look him in the eye and say, if there's any seed of doubt at all, he'll look at him and say, are you fully fit or are you not fully fit? And I think Harry's professional enough, and their relationship will be that good that he'll give an honest answer and an honest assessment. If there's any doubt at all, you'd leave him out, and it just depends where he goes from there, whether he thinks, you know, Callum Wilson is the natural like for like, or alternatively he'll put Rashford in. I don't know how Gareth views Rashford. Does he look at him as solely as a wide player cutting in, or does he think he can run down the middle?
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. I'm looking at it, and you mentioned it as soon as we come on there. Rashford just looks. I know it's a crazy thing
He's
to
back.
say, but
No,
I just
he's
think
back.
he just looks a different human being. He looks like the one, that a couple of years ago was playing full enthusiasm, smile on his face, quick scoring goals. And, I just think from an English point of view, it looks as though that's the character that's back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what Gareth's done as well. I look back over the last 15 months and going into the Euros, the clamour to put Sterling out the team, by the way, before the last Euros, the clamour to put Grealish in, he declined that. He was strong to his beliefs on what he thought and what he saw with his own eyes and kept to that. And going into this tournament, I think he's got his team right again. He's backed Saka at the last tournament and this one again, and I think it's bearing fruit.